Alright, it's fucking gone. Fucking finally. Yo, that's like the most cancerous fucking alarm you could
Yeah.
ever fucking imagine.
Someone cooking in your house or something?
Yep.
Okay, no.
I was
You know you
thinking,
could like go to it and turn it off.
yeah, but I didn't feel like moving. And it went off in like 30 seconds anyways. But what I was gonna say is, I was thinking maybe we just make that a separate video and just call it Discussing Marine 4 Whitebeard's Strength.
Okay,
Seems like
cool.
a fairly good idea to me. Because I stopped
Yeah,
the recording when that happened too, because I didn't want to have like some random like 30-second to a minute pause. If in case like it was even longer, maybe like a minute or two, I didn't want to fucking pause and just have nothing being said and shit.
yeah, I
But yeah,
feel that.
Ben Beckman. What I say about him? Basically, I
You
talked
were
about the
saying that
Vivre
you always
card.
wanted him to be strong, but now you actually have proof that he's strong
Oh yeah,
because of
now I
the
actually have evidence. I wouldn't really say proof, but there's hope. There's hope. He always kind of gave that vibe because he seems like one of those characters that Oda respects a lot in the way he portrays him. Like he portrays him as like that calm badass that can like analyze a situation really quickly, and like he's not one of those characters that you really see Oda making a fool out of. That's the vibe I get from Ben Beckman.
Okay,
And then he gets the portrayal of being comparable to Shanks. It was either on fighting prowess or presence, but either way, I think that pretty much confirms that he's comparable to Shanks because what is going to give a pirate presence? His fucking strength, of course. I don't think anyone should really argue against that. I think Smokey argued against that one time. I didn't really understand why.
what do you say?
I don't
Doesn't
remember.
matter.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. But he was basically because he likes to wank the Yonko a lot. So I don't think he has a good time having Beckman on the same level as Shanks. It kind of hurts some of his narratives, I'd guess. But yeah, what do you think?
I just feel like that Vivre card. I don't know, man. Something about the Vivre card. Like, it's apparently that whole thing about him being the moon to his son was like a mistranslation, or like the author that translated it took exception. He's a Shanks fanboy, a Shanks crew fanboy, and he made it like written that way. I don't have like concrete proof for that, but that's like the word that's been going around. I just don't like how stuff like that is like. I hate just like auxiliary like shit to use in discussions. I just like straight using what we saw in the manga or portrayal we saw in the manga, and I just don't like take that much into account when it comes to VV cards, data books, etc. Because like that could be just mistranslations and just misinformation. Even HBS's he's never answered seriously, so people still use that as well. But besides, like putting that aside just for this argument, um, I just feel like I always thought that him and Marco were probably a tier above the other two right hands, just because how prominent Shanks is, as well as being the right hand to Whitebeard. Feel like him being like the the pirate king without being the pirate king of the era. Like after Roger and him being the right hand to him gives him a portrayal above, let's say the likes like you mentioned, Katakuri. And Shiryu is like strong as hell, but I'm still like a wait and see with how he uses his new Dofu and stuff. Like Marco, and especially how Marco was able to contend with Kizaru, as well as like he was like portrayed like, I mean, not portrayed but like shown on top in a couple clashes between admirals, you know. And I feel like that
I mean,
alone,
he
that
kicked Kizaru once, and then he kicked Aokiji once when Aokiji was
that's
off guard.
twice he knocked him out. I mean,
He knocked him out. Okay.
that's twice he
Uh,
knocked him back. I mean, you don't give that kind of portrayal to someone that's not like really strong, you know. So like
but
I
I
feel like
think Zoro
Marco,
had comparable portrayal because he overpowered Fuji. Yeah, it wasn't like flying like Marco did to Kizaru, but Zoro was in a resting position while under gravity, so I could see it as being comparable.
yeah. I just feel like him and Marco have a like special portrayal in terms of other admiral, the right hand. I never viewed them to be on the same level as admirals. I always thought they were like just the notch in between, let's say, a first commander and the admiral, you know. So like if there would be like a level, it would be where you have Weevil, Shiryu, and them. That's where I would put Ben Beckman and Marco.
I mean, if you don't believe the Vivre card stuff, sure. There's also one of the recent chapters where it said Shanks's crew was all a bunch of big shots, and then Ben Beckman's pretty much the right hand of that crew that has all those big shots. So that's another point to argue he's special in terms of the right hands. I consider him special because of that reason and the Vivi card, and then Shiryu. I'll get into him later, but because he's Zoro's future opponent. But yeah, there's not much to say about Ben Beckman. Like, if you disagree, you can't really fucking prove the other guy wrong.
Yeah, if I would make a tier list, I'd put him where you have Shiryu and Weevil and Marco there as well, like above Luffy, but not on the same level as Fuji or Green Bull or Old Whitebeard. That's kind of OP having them the same level as Old Whitebeard. What the fuck?
One other thing I will add is that since Shanks got the Straw Hat, he's kind of like Roger's protege in a way. I see him as kind of like a lesser Roger, and then I would see Beckman as like a lesser Rayleigh. He kind of has that portrayal of being special amongst right hands in that way as well. I don't know if you agree with that.
Yeah. Could you repeat that? Sorry, I was like reading something.
I was saying, since Shanks got the Straw Hat from Roger, he's kind of like a lesser Roger in a way. And so, by extension, Beckman would be like a lesser Rayleigh. I think he has that special portrayal to where he's not really seen as a subordinate, but more like a partner that Luffy Zoro have, that Roger Rayleigh have. And so, for me, that would make him comparable to Shanks. Which is why I put him like one tier under.
Yeah, I agree with you about that portrayal, but I just don't think it's like one tier under. I would say 2 tiers, because the people in that tier are kind of OD as well, and I don't think Ben Beckman would live up to that level of, let's say, Garp or Sengoku or Fujitora. I can see it happening. I just don't.
The way I see it is, the stronger the captain is, if you're in that line of people that are like so strong that their right hands are comparable to them, the stronger the captain is, the closer the right hand is to the captain. So it'd be like even more legendary. So you have Roger and Rayleigh, they're on the same tier. And then you would have Luffy and Zoro, who I think by the end will be even closer to each other than Roger and Rayleigh were, because they're going to be stronger than Roger and Rayleigh. And so Shanks would be weaker than Roger, but if you believe he's S+ tier, that's still legendary enough to me to where the right hand is so fucking strong that he's just 1 tier below. That's just how I see it.
Okay. That makes sense to me. I just, like you said, you can't convince the guy one way or another. If you want to keep him there, that's fine, because of your list. I just would have him lower. I think I explained the reasons why.
Yeah. Fucking Kong.
He's a wild card, dude. I don't know anything about him. I'm just hoping.
He was a fleet admiral, so you gotta give him respect, but that doesn't necessarily mean
he's all this shit.
S+. Like, I'm talking about his prime, by the way. Him being a fleet admiral doesn't necessarily mean he has to be S+.
I think it is credence to that, though, because like he's in charge of all these, like the same way that Akainu is seen to be on the same level as the other admirals and shit. I don't think like there would be admirals that would be like working for someone weaker than them. If that makes sense.
It depends, because Sengoku was kind of up and coming when he became an admiral. Like, they wanted Garp to have the position, if I remember correctly. So maybe by that point they kept Kong at fleet admiral because he had a lot of experience. They were waiting for either Sengoku or Garp to just have more experience. They didn't really feel like they need to become fleet admiral. If anything, we can just let Kong be the one who stays in the office, does the office work, while letting Sengoku and Garp be the ones to go out and fight Roger and shit. But at the end of the day, I agree, because I put old Kong on the same tier as all the other old people. So then in his prime, he would be S+.
Yeah. So that's like the one you have there. Is that old or prime?
That's old.
That's what I figured out. Like, wait, you have prime Garp as S? I think he's definitely same way you argued the rest. I feel like those apply to him as well, being S+. I don't think that his old now is S. I can see him being S- because he was like a bit older than the rest.
Yeah,
even
he's
back
old
then.
as shit, dude. He is old
So
as
like
fuck.
I can see him being like Suru, you know, she's old as shit too. She's old as dirt. So like having her at that level would make more sense to me. I don't think he's like
I mean, he's even like the generation before Suru.
So like, yeah, that makes.
He's really fucking old, but I don't know, because I don't know what's the limit for One Piece age. I feel like if you just keep training, you kind of maintain your strength.
Yeah.
I don't know. He's a wild card. I'm fine with putting him S though. For the Gorosei, I don't really have much reasoning to have them exactly S. I feel like again the blonde Gorosei, he's the youngest and he was like the biggest prodigy out of them. He's kind of the leader. Gandhi is the Zoro of the group, and then these other guys depends who they fight. I don't really have an exact answer for who they're gonna fight. I feel like one of them might fight Sabo. Other
Yeah,
than that, I'm
I
kind of
feel like
shooting a
it's
blank.
crazy. Like, I think who was saying this? Like, I think it was Ty that was saying like all these Gorosei are like S plus Yonko level shit, and I'm like, that's wild if the government has 5 Yonko level people just sitting around. I don't understand how in end of series supposed to compete with that unless we gain allies that are also S plus and shit, which I don't know if we will.
Hold on, let
Like,
me
I
check real
don't.
quick.
As soon as Steve joins, you leave.
Hello.
Hello.
Hey.
John considered he'll be back, but we were discussing like if you look
Yeah, I'm
at
back.
general right now, if you look at general Stebo, there's like a list that Jonkins made, and we're just breaking it down. If we agree, or Jonkins would give us points on why he has him there, and he would ask me if I agree, and I would give counterpoints if I disagree, and if I disagree, where would I put them in comparison to the other people on the list? Like if you check general right now, you'll be able to see it. Currently, we're at the fucking 2 Gorseis, Gandhi Gorsei and Fork Beard Gorsei. So like
Nah, we're
those
not
two.
at Gandhi. We're at the weird
Fork,
fucking tall guy with like the super neck,
I
and
just
then
called him
the
Fork Beard
fork beard,
because of mustache and tunes. Thanks.
and then also the fat guy who seems kind of short, and then the Jew.
I called him Gandhi. I don't know why. Turtle guy. Okay, that's what I meant when I say Gandhi.
I'm
He
fine with
looks
calling
more
him
like
turtle guy
Gandhi.
to be honest.
Yeah.
But the point we were making was how strong they are depends on who they fight. So I had the headcanon that Luffy's gonna fight Emu, Kid's gonna fight the blonde Gorosei who will be the strongest. Zoro's gonna fight Gandhi. So then we basically have to make up matchups for who they'd fight if you want to prove your point or give some reasoning behind it. I think Sabo's gonna fight one of them, so that's already enough to say one of them is Yonko level. Who else could fight these guys? I don't think Sanji's gonna be that strong in the series. I know Stebo might argue against that, but I don't
Big
really know.
stronger, so
Dragon might fight one of them. I don't really see Dragon just fighting one of them though. I feel like he's gonna have like a grand epic death against like many people or Emu, like I said before. I don't really know. I'm trying to look at my list. Huh. Yeah, I don't know who could fight them honestly. Maybe Killer can fight one of them if Killer ends up not being a disappointment. That could work. But yeah, we can move past these guys if we don't really have much else to say.
So you saying Killer end of series might be S minus or S?
Maybe. I mean, those are my hopes at the beginning, but then he got treated like trash against Zoro, so I'm kind of very skeptical now. I don't know.
Okay.
Move on to Prime Zephyr. I don't really know with this guy. It seems like he doesn't have a devil fruit. And then
He
kind of,
trained the admirals though, like Kizaru and shit. This is
yeah.
lore.
But
So like,
I
I
feel
don't know,
like they all
master.
definitely surpassed him.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard for me to tell because Fuji, he was kind of disappointing, but he has a powerful devil fruit. Green Bull, he's a current admiral, and he's probably gonna do crazy shit. And I have them S. So I feel like it's fine to have Zephyr S. I don't feel like every admiral has to be S plus. I don't really know. I don't have too much of an opinion on Z. Where do you place him?
Me?
Yeah.
I don't know. He's also another one where he's like kind of old as shit too. So like I don't think
This is
he's
prime.
like
This is prime.
oh prime. I don't think he's as strong as yeah, like you said, like they surpassed him. So I would be like, if we just use like his lore as being a trainer, as being one of the strongest people. I don't know. I would I would say like low end of S and like S minus range for me.
S minus,
I,
huh?
yeah, I just don't like. He was a good teacher and all. Like I just don't. I just don't. What was his title again before he retired? Was he an admiral, fleet admiral? What was it? Did he
He
even
was
have a
an
title?
admiral. Admiral.
Okay, so like that I forgot about. I thought he was like a science division leader or something that trained
Nah,
Cesaro.
nigga. I would not put him at S if he was a fucking science division leader.
I mean, he could have been strong as shit too. Yeah. Saying that, I'd say I can see him being S. I don't really even care. Like I don't really know how to scale him to be honest. Just the fact that he was an admiral gives him credence to be S. So I'm fine
Yeah,
with that.
that's my logic too. You got anything to say about Z, Steva? I know you like to hype up characters that don't do anything and will never show up.
That nigga strong. I
Is that
mean,
it?
shit. That y'all basically said everything else.
Yeah, fair enough. You have
I
my
don't
list in front of you,
disagree.
right?
The one that you posted right here, right?
Y'all,
In the general chat.
y'all.
All right.
You have it in front of you. All right. So where would you place him? Would you place him S, S minus, S plus?
I would say S plus.
S plus. Okay. I mean, I can see why Admiral respect. I just don't really see it because he apparently didn't have a fruit. I feel like if he had a powerful fruit, that might be what pushes him up to S plus. That's just my take, though. This is a controversial one because I know a lot of Zoro fans have him over Roger, and I'm not entirely against it. I just don't really agree. Because the way I see the end of the series playing out is I think Zoro versus Mihawk is a fight between the top two swordsmen of all time. Just because of the way Mihawk's been built up, like he has the strongest black blade, like it's like everything about him is just ultimate, pretty much. And then I think Zoro should fight the strongest swordsman of all time. That's just how I see it. Like I think Luffy's gonna fight the strongest antagonist of all time. Like I think Imu's top two with Luffy. So if we give Luffy that respect of being the strongest of all time, fighting the second strongest of all time, I feel like it only makes sense for Zoro to fight the second strongest swordsman of all time, or maybe the strongest at that time. But people say Zoro's gonna eventually surpass Ryuma when he's like 30, 40. Because we got that SBS where it showed Zoro at one point he has like 8 sword style. Like the older he gets, the more swords he gets. So like, all right, end of series Zoro is Roger level, but then when he gets 4 swords, he goes up another level. When he gets 5 swords, he goes up another level. So they're like, when he has 8 swords, all right, that's when he's finally surpassed Ryuma. I think that's fucking wild, but I don't think it's impossible. Ryuma might just be that nigga, but it's hard to say. So I just put him at S. He does have a black blade, but not much else is known about him other than he beat who the fuck knows who. No one wanted to really fuck with him. The world government was probably always powerful. That when we got like the era of Garp, Kong, Sengoku, that's probably when they were at their strongest. And then not like their strongest of all time. Like at any point before then, I don't think they were stronger than they were then. And then Akainu now leading them, they're at the strongest they've ever been. So it's not as impressive for the world government to not want to fuck with Wano because of Ryuma, but still, the world government rules the world. They still didn't want to fuck with Wano because of Ryuma. That's impressive as shit. However you want to cut it. So he has a lot going for him. There's a lot you could say about him where you think he is. Where would you guys place him?
Go ahead, Steve.
Huh?
Oh, you even pay attention?
I was falling asleep.
Bruh.
But what you said?
Alright, well, at least now you can't say I took everything from you. Basically, where you have Ryuma.
Oh, like this, like Prime Alive Realm or whatever.
Yeah, Prime Alive.
I would have him at S plus.
S plus. You got any
Wait,
reason for it?
Is Odin on his list?
Yeah,
I
yes.
forgot.
He's S.
Well, it's just because Ryuma was a big time nigga in history, with the Black Blade, and he was the reason that Wano was all secluded and secret and protected and shit. So it just makes sense to me.
We don't really know the power dynamic of the world at that point. And what I was saying while you were falling asleep was, I don't think the world government
Shade.
was as strong back then as they were during the era of Garp, Kong, Sengoku, those people, and then world government's even stronger now. So while it is really impressive for the world government to not want to fuck with Wano because of Ryuma, I don't know if they had like even one admiral level person at that time, let alone like fucking 4 and shit. So it's kind of hard to say.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Draco, what's your opinions on Ryuma?
The reason I asked where Odin is, I feel like he's a similar level to Odin. Like, if anything, I don't see him like being stronger than Odin. So wherever Odin is, I'd keep Ryuma too. I feel like they had the same significance in terms of like Wano's history.
That's
They're
a good
both super
comparison
strong.
actually, because I feel like they're pretty comparable given their status as like the strongest of Wano and like being so strong that
Exactly.
they actually have like an era about them in a way. But Ryuma does have a black blade, so I would give him the edge over
That's the
Odin.
thing. Yeah, like I would say minimum Odin, but I could see him being higher. But that's not like the Black Blade doesn't give him like a level above. So I agree with where you have him as S.
And
Like-
one more thing, if Zoro is a Shimotsuki, then Ryuma has Zoro's blood in him, so, well, other way around, obviously, but Ryuma's part of the same bloodline as Zoro, so kind of makes him that nigga, you know, automatically. But yeah.
Okay.
Big fucking mom. God, I hate this bitch.
The
I really
big
fucking hate
fucking
this
mom,
bitch.
like that's
Wait,
kind of like
you got Big Mom in S.
yeah. I gotta hear
Bro.
this. I agree
Oh.
with it, but I gotta hear your reasoning, Jacket.
Before the Kaido clash, I had Big Mom at A+ with Luffy and Zoro. That's
Wow.
That's how much I don't think Big Mom has been impressive. It's kind of fucking hard to scale her because she looked like complete trash for all of Whole Cake and then for most of Wano up until the Kaido clash. And then you can argue Kaido wasn't even super serious against her, so she might still be fucking trash. But I'll bring up
I
some
don't
reasons.
know why you would argue that, but go ahead.
I'll bring up some reasons why she's been super disappointing. Pretty sure didn't Mondor dodge one of her lightning attacks before she sucked the soul out of him?
That wasn't Mondor.
Who was it?
That was Moscato.
Yeah, Moscato. Some fodder like Moscato was able to dodge her. Luffy and Jinbei at the wedding were able to dodge her attacks. Chopper and Nami, I'm pretty sure. Might be getting that not exactly correct, or maybe Nami and Carrot. Either way is pathetic. They were able to dodge her. She tried to give Chopper the people's palm, and then Chopper just blocked that shit and was completely fine. Pathetic. A lot of people consider this canon. This is the anime where Big Mom tried to use a sword slash on Chopper and Chopper blocked it. Pathetic. What else? In Udon, she failed to fucking hit Hyogoro. Hyogoro was able to dodge her attack while like near death. Like he was literally on Luffy's arms, like looking like he can barely move, and then he just dodged her attack, no problem. Pathetic. What else? She clashed evenly with Gear 3rd. Sanji was there too, but Sanji's basically a fly, so she clashed evenly with Gear 3rd.
Wow.
Pathetic. Kaido
Okay.
was able to one-shot Gear 4th, and then Big Mom clashes equally with Gear 3rd. Like, what the fuck is that, Oda? It still confuses me to this day. People like to give Fuji a lot of shit because Gear 3rd pushed him back when he wasn't expecting it. And then the second Gear 3rd attack, granted this one was smaller than the first, but Fuji was able to hold his ground. He wasn't attacking it back or anything, it was just a block. And then you have Big Mom who tries to attack Gear 3rd and gets it completely matched. Which is another reason why I think it's pretty wild to argue that she didn't try to give Luffy the people's elbow when Luffy tried to hit her with that Gear 4 attack. They were like, if she tried to punch him, he would fucking send him flying. He can't match her strength. It was just a block. But then he fucking matched her strength with Gear 3rd, so I don't even know why the fuck y'all are arguing this. But a lot of people like to forget about the Gear 3rd moment like it never happened. And I guess
Well, you just ignore that Sanji's there, so that's probably your problem.
he's a fly. He's not
Okay.
relevant. Not a factor.
Alright.
This is the same guy that like fucking tried to kick X Drake, and Drake was like, "Did a fly hit me? What was that?"
That's not what happened, but Okay.
Bro, X Drake didn't get moved back at all. He literally just stood there. It like the way it was portrayed, it looked like Sanji. Literally, people argue that Sanji tried to kick himself off X Drake because it just looked that weak. I think were you one of those people that argued that?
I don't believe so.
I hope so. I hope you weren't. I meant because that's a fucking terrible argument. One really funny thing about that is Sanji can skywalk, so he doesn't need to fucking kick himself off X Drake to get in the air. And then to begin with, he jumped in the air and was on top of X Drake, like he was higher up. So why would he go back down just to go back up again? Like it doesn't make sense. But the moment was basically so sad that Sanji looked like a fly.
Bro, the only thing that about Big Mom that I kind of disagree with is because she fought this guy that you have at S plus for 3 days and they were both fine. So like, I
Wasn't
don't
it
think some.
1 day or maybe 2 at most?
I'm pretty sure it was 3 days, but even if it's two, that's 2 days where like neither of them was able to like overcome the other. And I'm like a Kaido supporter. I feel like that's the thing that changed me from having like around S below the other Yonko, like around Fujitora level, to having her to be like on the same level as, let's say, the other Yonko in the fight or something. If you have Blackbeard there, who's like still up and comer, who's not like fully developed yet as like the force he is, I feel like Big Mom has deserved the same. Even though she's been shit on, she also had like some good highs, which is like I said,
That
fighting
one
Kaido.
moment. That one moment.
That moment, retcon everything bad she did. Like I would like before that moment, I did not expect her to like. I thought Kaido would like fuck like not have a 3 day max difficulty fight with her where no one can get the upper hand. You know.
Well, it's kind of hard to tell what happened because at the end of it, they were fucking buddy buddy and
The thing
drinking
is,
or
yeah,
some
that's
shit.
the only argument I have, and I use it all the time. Like I'm half trolling, but I'm half serious. Is that as soon as he told her to uncuff her, he wasn't planning on killing her anymore. So maybe he was just like testing how strong she is, to see if she's like a good ally or not. And he fought her like that, and with no intention of killing her. That's the only reason, I guess. That
I mean, if Kaido bothers to gather up fodder, of course he would consider Big Mom a good ally, even if he can like mid diff her or whatever.
yeah, but still, like kind of like a Yonko seems to always do this, like the whole Whitebeard and Roger thing.
Yeah,
Just
just
they see
testing
each
each
other.
other.
Yeah, and just test each other.
I agree. I don't think Kaido was like super serious. Like maybe at the beginning he was trying a lot.
I don't think
I
he
don't
hit
think
her
he
with
was
any
going all
attack.
out at any point. Like let's say at the beginning he was going 90%. And then as the fight dragged on, they were like talking and then they maybe came to some agreements and then they were like trying less and less as the fight was going on.
What makes it even more like ridiculous is I doubt, like I don't know how, like she's not like category with her Marienda time, but I don't think Big Mom like can go 3 days without eating or anything, you know, without her going
Yeah,
crazy.
that's like the Whitebeard sickness. Like you don't know what the fuck you're gonna get with her weird food thing.
So yeah, I feel like they should have like probably took naps and fucked that night and fought back at the end.
One other thing I will mention is her observation Aki seems pretty trash.
It's
When
trash, dude.
when Luffy was going to break the picture, he literally just stood there, she's like, What? What was happening?" And then like she tried to get Zeus to stop him, and then Zeus is just so fucking slow that Zeus wasn't even close to stopping him. Luffy was gonna break the picture if it wasn't for Cat. So it just makes her seem really fucking slow. Makes his observation Aki seem really trash. She just looked
That's the
like
thing.
complete shit other than the Kaido fight.
That's one of her downgrades. Like her speed isn't that impressive. Her observation hockey is like actually shit tier because she couldn't tell.
No,
That's
her
some basic
observation
shit.
Aki, I think you can objectively say it's not that good, but her speed has been like one of her biggest weaknesses for all of her showings, except the Kaido fight because she fought on par with him speed wise too, and then Kaido blitzed gear fourth. So it's like, is she supposed to be a
That's the
speed demon?
thing, man.
Apparently,
Like I hate that because I want to see why is he making her slow in one point and fucking be able to keep up with Kaido on others? Like I don't know,
plot
man.
convenience, obviously, but
Trash.
it's hard to judge where she really is.
Yeah, but like going off that, I'm okay. I would have her at lower end of S plus, but having her in S is like reasonable to me. I don't think it's like too crazy. She's been objectively the weakest Yonko that's been shown so far.
Mhm.
Even Blackbeard, who hasn't even been shown yet, had impressive moments pre time skip that can rival what she's doing now. Besides the Kaido thing.
You got anything to add, Steva?
Huh?
Bro, you can't be fucking serious, dude.
My bad, man.
Yo, you're
I just got
trolling,
off
yo. Alright, bro. You should have went to bed, dog.
Oh,
My bad. We want to keep
alright.
you. He said sure, so I thought.
But what was it though? What was the question?
Bruh.
Big Mom, do you think it's fair to have her
It's
at S
still Big Mom.
plus? Yeah, we
Yeah.
go in depth, my nigga.
Yeah, I think it's fair.
Debo, if you want to go to
But
sleep, you can go to sleep.
Yeah, I think I'll do that.
yeah, before you go, why do you think it's fair to have her at S instead of S plus? Like,
No, I thought you said S plus, like put her in S plus.
no, S. Do you think it's fair to have her at S, or do you think her
Nah.
feet? Well, like,
Nah,
what's your main
S
reason
plus.
that says like you look at Big Mom and think S? No way. What's the biggest thing you go to when you think
She's a
about that?
Yonko.
Fuck out of here, dog. That's
All
what I
right,
was
let me just ask you one thing then,
What you
Fuji.
mean?
Do you think him being S is fair, or do you think he has to be S plus as well because he's an admiral?
I think it's different for Fuji because he was joined as like in the draft and all, and I would assume that him and Ryo Kugyo are both like not on the same level as the previous admirals.
I mean, I
That's
think
just the assumption that I make.
you can have that assumption. I just think it's weird to then say she's a Yonko Auto S plus if you're gonna have like some workaroundings for being an admiral, you know. But you can have that opinion. I don't really care.
That's just because I see the workaround with the admirals.
Yeah, but if you're able to see that for the admirals, you should be able to see it for the Yonko too.
I
Why
don't.
does every smile I have make me look like the cringe guy? It's fucking annoying me. Holy shit.
Yeah, Steve, if you want to go to sleep, just go to sleep, dude.
All right.
All right, peace. I'm just waiting for him to leave.
Oh damn! I forgot I gotta do that.
Bro.
All right.
Yeah, he's trolling, bro.
Nigga Steve-O, man. What the fuck? Holy shit. It's 8 o'clock. Why is he so tired? I don't get it. Yeah, whatever. Let's move on.
Yeah,
So-
we're just not making that much good time either. We're still on S.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
No, to be honest, I want to hear what Trippy has to say about Zoro and Cat's rankings because I know me and him got into an argument about that before. So I kind of want to save at least A+ tier for when Trippy's here.
Okay, that's fine with me.
Maybe even
hungry as well.
S- too, if you want.
I'm fine with it. Let's just. I don't know.
Let's
S
do S tier?
minus.
You
S
want to just do
minus
S tier?
has-
I mean, I have
yeah.
food that I'm waiting on eating too, so fuck it.
I'm
could
down.
make-
I just like S minus. This is when it gets enticing when you go like S minus and below. Cause
Yeah,
S
we're
and
kind of
S
at the
plus-
boring parts, to be honest.
Yeah, we all agree on all of it. Like we have similar takes, which is boring. That's why I wanted like someone that disagrees with us to join that you were looking for too.
Yeah, that's why I wanted at least Trippy to be here because then there would be more disagreements, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I wholeheartedly disagree with that. That's trippy.
All right, so Scopper.
That's the
Scopper's an
thing.
interesting one. I always thought he was really
sure,
strong.
for
I
sure.
always imagined him as being relative to Rayleigh, kind of in the sense that Ben Beckman is relative to Shanks in my eyes. And the chapter with Whitebeard Pirates against Roger Pirates, it pretty much confirmed that. Well, it didn't confirm that he's relative to Rayleigh, but he got that special portrayal to where you can infer it. I think that's a fair assumption to make. So, one thing I will say is I don't think he's exactly on Rayleigh's level. I think there's a difference, which is why I have Prime Scopper at S, and then I have Old Rayleigh at S. But I still think he's strong enough to where he gets that respect of being S, personally. Where do you got him?
I think, like you said, the way they were portrayed in that fight versus Odin, even though they didn't need to both fight him, the way they were standing shoulder to shoulder, and he said my two best men and shit. That doesn't mean it's supposed to be on the same level, but like I took it that way. Where like I don't think the difference is as big as like Sanji versus Zoro as we have now. I feel like it's a lot closer than that. So
Anyone
like
who
for
says
me,
Sanji is the new Scopper can go fuck themselves.
for sure, yeah. So like that's why I kind of disagree with the fact that you have Prime Rayleigh and S plus and Scopper and S. But like you could have Rayleigh at the lower end of S plus and Scopper at the high end of S, and it would make sense. Like,
If I
kind of
moved Rayleigh out of S plus, I would 100% move Shanks out too.
What?
Because,
And Kizaru too?
No, not Kizaru.
Has Kizaru like the same thing as Shanks? You know what I'm saying? Oh, I guess
Yeah,
better
but he has
Shanks.
the better Shanks, the Delphi powers, 2 arms.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not mad at it. I just can't. If I would make a list, I would make Rayleigh and him on the same level, or just maybe the opposite ends of 2 levels. Because I do think Rayleigh is stronger. I don't know if it's like an entire level above though.
One thing that I will add is, and I
His
brought this
axe
up
style
last
too.
video, of course. They said they were gonna beat Odin like as if they were gonna low diff him. Well, when
Yeah,
we
I agree with
take
you. I was
three
trolling that
people,
shit.
when we take 3 people who are relative, like Garp, Sengoku, and Shiki, it seemed like a mid diff. So for them to be able to low diff Odin, it was pretty clear to me that Odin wasn't on their level.
Okay.
Though we don't know how strong Odin was back then exactly. It said he got many times stronger, so he was most likely significantly stronger by the end of his voyage, but he could have made gains before that fight happened. And then
Okay.
obviously I think he made gains during the Roger voyage, but I don't necessarily think it's fair to say after that fight with the Whitebeard and Roger Pirates, that's when he got many times stronger. So the Odin that fought the Roger Pirates is like nothing compared to current Odin or some bullshit.
Okay.
And then
I agree with. I see what you're saying, but like related back to the Scarpa thing, I kind of missed that relation you're saying. The whole like if Shiki and was able to get mid diff by 2 people, the fact that Odin got low diffed.
well, that
Say
he would
that.
have gone low diff. It's that Odin at that point isn't on par with
Weaker.
Rayleigh or Scopper.
Okay. But do you agree that Scarborough and Rayleigh are most likely on par with each other? Like, if they would fight, in your opinion, do you have them a level above? Like, what would the diff be, in your speculation, headcanon?
I would say high diff. If
Okay.
there's an in between lower high end of high diff and high diff, he would be there. That's like kind of
That's-
getting to super semantics.
That's crazy. Like, oh, what was that shit that fucking King says? Super extreme, or like extreme high diff, whatever fuck. He's like some subcomponents
Extreme
of the
lower
lower.
end of high diff.
Yeah, it's kind of wild that we have Scopper Gabona. You have your list that you have Scopper Gabona the same as Big Mom. A lot of niggas would be mad at that. But I definitely think he's the same level as like Fujitora. So like
Yeah, I could
depends
see
who
him
you
fighting on
compare
par
him
with
to.
Fuji for sure.
Yeah, that's wild, bro. The Rogers crew was goaded. It makes sense because there are like 11 of them compared to like entire armadas of Shiki and shit. You know?
Yeah, and then you're like, why is Shiki's fodder so intimidating to the Roger Pirates? I guess they just thought their ship was gonna get sunk. But then Oda wants you to think fodder are strong and make a difference, so who knows?
It wasn't even that they were intimidated. It was like just a sheer number, you know. And it was like a sea battle. It wasn't like on land. So like that
Yeah,
alone,
basically what
like
I
kind of
said.
fuck over them. Oh yeah, you worded it different. Yeah.
One other thing I want to add is everything I said, you can argue to an extent that it got contradicted by their actual battle because it was an equal fight, quote unquote. But I don't even know matchups. Like, what I think happened was, I think it was Rayleigh against Odin and Vista, and then Scopper against Marco and Jozu, and maybe Rakuyo, since he seemed pretty strong back then.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like the way they portrayed him next to Whitebeard and shit and menacing made him seem like he's strong as fuck.
Yeah, so props to Pinnock, I guess, for hyping him up from the start. Pinnock's still a fag, but yeah.
Whoa there, Elemental P's gonna come after you.
I want to say that I don't think the Roger Pirates were super serious at that point. I mean,
There's no way. It makes no sense to me. Like,
yeah, the island wasn't destroyed or anything. It's hard to believe. And then Rayleigh and Scopper didn't seem like they had any bruises on them. So it seemed like they were good. And then just the way they engaged, like if they were super serious, Rayleigh and Scopper would be the first ones, like they would blitz towards the Whitebeard Pirates, but they started the battle off by like holding their weapons out and being like, "Charge, men," which makes you think that they're not really taking this as seriously as they should be, or as you think they would. I don't know. I just don't think they were like super serious at that point.
I get it. I get what you're saying because that's the only way my head can comprehend the fact that they were tied with a weaker version of Whitebeard Scoot than it is at the time you saw him at Marineford, you know?
Unless Vista really is that nigga.
Yeah. I niggas sleep on him a lot, so if he's that nigga, fuck. But Vista has slept on too much, bro.
I mean, I think having him one tier above Cat is giving him a lot of respect.
Oh, I wasn't talking about you, I was talking about like in the
Yeah, I'm
general.
just saying.
But that's wild that you have him there. like as a general consensus of the world, like Katakuri is like God.
Yeah.
So like fucking God Junior. Thing is like Vista, which like everyone sleeps on. That's wild.
All right,
I can,
let's pretty much skip past Shiki
isn't
because
isn't isn't Chippy a super Katakuri fanboy too?
I know he thinks Zoro can't beat Cat, which is why I want to save talking about Zoro for when Trippy's here. But I don't think he's like a super fan. I feel like he hypes him up a lot though.
Okay.
All right, so yeah, let's skip past Shiki because pretty much the same reasoning as the other old people. Blackbeard with
Oh, it's
two
just all
fruits.
cheeky. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, old Shiki. Blackbeard with two fruits at Marineford is an interesting case because he kind of got punked by a dying Whitebeard. So you can argue, well, there's no way he's on the same level as Marineford Whitebeard if he got fucking punked by Marineford Whitebeard when he was like at his end times. Which I think
feel like
is a fair argument
even
in
then-
a sense, but Whitebeard himself said that Blackbeard, his biggest weakness is being overconfident or like being cocky and like not really being ready at all times or like something along those lines. And then Blackbeard against Magellan, he got one shot by Magellan and he literally has the darkness fruit. He literally has the counter to not get one shot and he got one shot regardless. So I feel like Blackbeard has a lot of jobbing moments.
The
What'd you
fight with Ace was like portrayed to be close, you know. So like I feel like
Kind of, but I think it was only portrayed that way because Blackbeard has this thing where like it seems like he takes more damage than he really does, but then he ends up being fine. I feel like Blackbeard at the end of that fight was like perfectly fine, like he wasn't even that injured.
okay, but like the fact that Ace, a guy that's like we have him, like where would you have Ace at that time? Like,
Pretty
if he
much
was at
same where I have him on my list, C plus, and then Blackbeard at that point
C
was
plus?
A plus. Yeah.
So yeah, like him being C plus and like actually even causing Blackbeard to kind of sweat a bit there, and the shit we saw kind of downgrades like Blackbeard
Well,
at the time.
at the end
So,
of the day, I think that fight was a lower end of mid diff, and I also think
but
Blackbeard wasn't going as hard as he could have. That's how I rationalize it.
I don't remember the fight in specifics, but I thought that like he was giving them props for him being able to fight and shit and like all that stuff. And that fight was like the way that the backdrop happened to it. It seemed like it was like a struggle between the two. That Blackbeard eventually overcame Ace. It didn't seem like
You can argue that,
almost a
but
wash.
we can't really say for sure. If you want me to like summarize the whole fight, basically, Ace gave him a fire fist. Blackbeard was on the floor like a little bitch. He got up. Ace.
Yeah, I remember the fight specifically. I just didn't know like
okay.
how it like they were how it talked about after, you know, like how like the lore of it was.
While it was off screen, Van Auger said he's not just someone that spams the Ofu powers. He's actually powerful, like as a combatant in general. But then when we skipped to the end of it, Ace was pretty much on the floor on his knees, and Blackbeard he seemed kind of tired. But again, that goes back to Blackbeard always seems like he's more injured and more fucked up than he really is.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm still not exactly sure where to place Blackbeard. He seems like an enigma. He kind of seems like shit every time he shows up. But then he has that.
I don't
portrayal.
think he's S minus with Devil Fruit. Because Devil Fruit does insanely make him stronger, but the fact that he doesn't have any control over it, he was able to like produce a humongous.
Yeah, he was able to put up a Whitebeard level attack.
Yeah, but that was just like
this.
this. It's like you know when people have this like straight raw talent, but then like they have to hone it for it to be like almost like effective in a sense.
I agree, but then, like I said, Blackbeard should have vast knowledge of the One Piece world since he's like
he knows that fruit too a lot. So
yeah, I'm saying he should have vast knowledge of the One Piece world since he wants to rise to the top and he's like super cautious, and he considered himself the strongest in the world after gaining those two fruits. So that should say something, you know.
Yeah, I feel that.
But he's looked so shit throughout the whole thing, so it's kind of hard to say. I just don't really know. I'm not sure. It's kind of wild to put him on the same tier as Marineford Whitebeard when you look at what actually happened. But I kind of have faith that that's just him being overconfident, like Whitebeard said, and like an actual like prolonged fight. Oda would make Blackbeard look a lot better. But I could see him being S minus just because he looks like a fat piece of shit that isn't really a skilled fighter, doesn't really dodge that much, that type of shit, and has the double pain.
Yeah, for sure. Like I have him S minus. I don't. Like he was still raw as fuck, and like he just didn't like have like the like you said the fighting prowess, like the experience in using that Devil Fruit, take it over to the next level, which would be S and S plus in the upcoming 2 years that he got to. that's kind of crazy. His growth is pretty big, to be honest. He has a great potential.
Yeah, that's fair. What do you think about him low diffing the Marco Pirates?
I completely think that's due to him having a better crew. It's not just his strength.
So I guess that would be in line with where you put Marco if you have them like
Yeah,
around the
for
same.
sure. I feel like the fight between Marco and Blackbeard was close, but in that time it was 1 year, right? Whitebeard's crew was disjointed. Some left, some stayed. Blah blah blah. Remnant. Like Blackbeard spent the entire time gathering devil fruit chasing, increasing everyone's strength and like and shit with the devil fruit and stuff. And I don't even think he just showed. And it seemed like Marco came to Blackbeard, right? That's what it seemed like to me. Like he was chasing after him. So
Yeah.
like he went and fought him in a way that's like Blackbeard is more comfortable in that terrain he's fighting in. So that could also play a part in it. I just like
Yeah, I
feel
don't
like
really think that matters.
come on. I feel like he walked in. What's his name? Marco walked in over his head, like in over his head, because like
Yeah, I definitely
he
think
gave
Marco's
Blackbeard
overconfident.
he gave Blackbeard the entire fucking year to just like basically gain territory, gain people, get stronger, get better with devil fruit, train his people, get them devil fruits.
It's just like
he has
why
remnants.
though? Like, could he just not find him? Is that it?
I don't understand. Like if you fought him right then, right after like the time he was Bonnie and shit, I feel like that fight would be a lot closer and Marco possibly wins.
I still feel like he gets bodied, but
Bodied?
it might be enough to make it a mid diff, you know, maybe upper mid diff.
Dude, he got destroyed. And plus, another thing about him being destroyed, I used to argue this all the time. Like, don't believe what you hear in the newspaper, blah blah blah. But like, seeing him now was how defeated he is and like fucking healing people. Dude definitely got fucked up. He lost like his will, bro.
Yeah,
That's
and
crazy.
then when you look at the anime, it looked like Blackbeard just used his vortex powers, and then like literally all the Blackbeard pirates are just like,
Imagine if that just
shit,
happened.
what do we do? Oh
That's actually so
shit!
trash if that happened. Marco was a fucking retard. Why didn't like he knew about this fruit? He knew his abilities. I
Yeah,
guess he maybe enhanced it to a bit where he can like engulf an entire island. I don't know.
that's a lot of hype for Blackbeard if that's the case though. If Marco's as strong as me and you hype him up to be.
Yeah. Is this like post you hyping up Marco or is this like before? Like
This
is this
is
where you have him?
Marineford Blackbeard.
Talking about where Marco is in this list. Is that like his,
Oh,
where you
Marco.
have him now?
It's current Marco. And
Oh, okay. So like, so you think when
yeah,
you
so
said
my current
where
opinion of
me and
him.
you hype him up to be, like I thought it would be stronger than A plus. You know what I mean?
No.
Definitely like S minus level with Ben Beckman. That's only one tier below, so it's not that crazy. But yeah, I definitely think he's stronger than Weevil. We can get to that later, but I think he beats Weevil. I think that's the fucking like what's that term called? Like fool's gold or like I don't know, just like a red herring that people think that Weevil's gonna beat him. I feel like this is gonna be a big Marco proven
Now, I'm
moment.
I'm not
Like,
saying Marco's a loser or anything, but Weevil's coming to give Larko his final L.
Larko, man.
All
I
right,
think I
let's
tested that because sounds like Draco. If you change it, kind of sounds like Larko. You know, PTSD. People spamming on me.
damn the backstories.
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about Odin then. We talked about this nigga a lot because we're so fucking annoyed about the Kaido scene.
I don't even think he's as great as he was kind of supposed to be hyped up to be. To be honest, kind of like
To be
downgrade him a bit
honest,
now.
based on the hyping from the recent chapter, it's supposed to imply he's over Primebeard, which is fucking wild.
Stupid. There's no way. Like I feel like
I mean,
Primebeard beats him in every facet of
if he's
the
so
time before
casually
the live.
scarred Kaido like that, I think there's like the smallest chance in hell. Because
I explained to you about that shit. Fucking Kylo just let him scar him, dude. Just fucking big ass
let it
target.
happen. Let it happen. But yeah, if he's
That's
so
all
able
this dumb
to,
shit I'm
if he's able to casually scar him like that, I think like there's maybe the smallest chance in hell. I still don't buy it. I find it wild. Like I don't know. I don't even see him stronger than Shanks to be honest, and I don't rate Shanks that highly. I feel like Shanks is kind of an improvement over Odin,
Okay.
but we
You think
don't.
bro, that's too disrespectful to Shanks, bro. I feel like Shanks beats Odin every time.
You can't really say that because Odin has just been super impressive, and Shanks hasn't done
I don't
much.
think Shanks gets one shot by a club from Kylo in the back. I don't think that. I feel like he has more durability than that.
I
Yeah,
mean,
Yonko,
the fish has
clashing with
something to
Whitebeard,
say
even
about that.
yeah, that's a troll. But like, if he was like portrayed to be on the same level as Whitebeard during old Whitebeard, yeah, and sick, I guess. But still like
Old
Whitebeard.
sick beard without his devil fruit. That's
Yeah,
one thing I used to always say against Shanks, where people used to be like, well, that confirms Shanks is equal to Whitebeard. I'm like, no, that confirms Shanks is equal to Whitebeard without his devil fruit.
that's true. What do you think like that exchange would have happened if he used a Delph for? Like I don't know. I feel
I
like he
don't
would
know,
have
but
overpowered him
let
with
me
a
just mention
clockwork.
this first. The Whitebeard against Roger Pirates thing, it kind of shit on that because Whitebeard didn't use his devil fruit against Roger either. So I don't know in Oda's mind is like Whitebeard without his devil fruit is equal to Whitebeard with his devil fruit. He wants us to think Roger and Whitebeard are equal, but Whitebeard's not using his devil fruit against Roger. Like, what's the deal
That's why
there?
people think Roger is stronger. I mean, Whitebeard is stronger than Roger. You know, that's not an actual argument.
I guess, but the portrayal is pretty clear.
I feel like Roger was a greater pirate, but like having Whitebeard be stronger, it's kind of whack too. Because like his entire goal was to be the Pirate King, the most freest person, and I feel like he has the same philosophy as Luffy, so he has to be the strongest to be the freest.
Yeah, I just
That
feel
makes sense.
like Roger. I mean, not Roger. Oda's gonna wank Roger and make him like slightly above Prime Beard, just because he's the Pirate King and that's what Luffy wants to achieve. But yeah, it's hard to say with Odin. The one thing we can also mention is he did fight against the Roger Pirates to standstill, which is super impressive considering Rayleigh and Scopper. And then he got apparently many times stronger by the end of his voyage. So I'm not gonna take the many times stronger thing super literally. Like he literally got like 3 times stronger. Like no, but I think he did at least rise a tier, maybe 2, from where he was before. And even before he even left Wano, he was able to clash equally with maybe not Prime Beard, but like somewhat near Prime Beard.
That shit was so fucking wank by Oda. He made Whitebeard sweat. Get the fuck out of here, bro.
Something incredible is coming.
Dude, I don't know, man. I just don't. From what I've seen from him on like his feats and just like the aura I get around him, I just don't think he's on that. Like I feel like Whitebeard and Shiki and Roger were like a select group in that era in terms of like pirates. I guess you can
Yeah, I
include
mean, I pretty
Garp and
much
Zuko
agree,
in that.
given my placement, but I just think there's an argument you can make for him being S plus, and then there's even an argument you can make for him being over Prime Beard, as crazy as that sounds.
I feel like there's also an argument for him to be S minus because he got one shot by Club, dude.
But then you can
Grave
just
Oda.
you could say durability isn't his strongest suit, and then he wasn't using hockey either.
Yeah, but like I didn't seem like Kaido was using hockey either.
I don't know, because
That's like some like that's like gray area because we can't really tell what's hockey or not. It's like a blacked out thing. He hit his head where his hair is, so we don't know if hockey was applied to his hair, you know. And the club was black, so we don't know if hockey was applied to that.
yeah, but I think it's pretty fair to
I think
assume that he wasn't using hockey if he was just completely off guard.
it makes sense. Yeah, it makes more sense for Odin to not be using hockey than what Kaido, you know.
Yeah,
I just don't like. I don't know. I was expecting more from him. Like he cut the boar in half, like try like clashed evenly with Whitebeard. But I feel like that was a red herring. I still think Whitebeard was stronger. That's why he had him under him. You know, like you don't have a guy stronger than you or on your level. Like you could have a guy on your level, but at that time Odin was still raw. He got a lot stronger, as he said.
yeah, he did
So
call him
like
little brother too.
yeah. So like and then he gets thrown back by Whitebeard. I mean Roger. Like shit like that makes me feel like he's always been a level below. And the only way I like it makes more sense to have him S, but just like the back in my mind was like, how do you get one shot, bro? And just die like that too. Like
Just
I don't
plot, I
know.
guess. I mean, probably the same reason why Zoro got knocked out after the killer thing.
Yeah, it makes more sense. Yeah, I agree with you. Like I said earlier, him and Ryuma are kind of parallels in that
hmm
sense.
I'm also gonna mention how the Roger thing isn't exactly the fairest thing to judge Odin's strength by because he didn't really clash with Roger's attack. He got caught off guard by the speed of it and he blocked it. And then he was fine after anyways. So and it was weird because it seemed like he didn't even block it. Like it seemed like it was a direct hit if you look at the panel. And then he was like completely fine after. He was like kind of shook a bit, but he was ready to go, no problem. So yeah, like if you want to slight his durability because of what happened with Kaido, then you kind of have to like do mental gymnastics to argue him not really being phased by Roger's attack like that.
Yeah,
But it's hard to say.
him being S plus. The grand thing is him being S is not crazy. I don't think he's S plus. Like S is where his level is, in my opinion, Admiral level.
I
Not
agree.
Admiral's like
To be honest,
Fuji.
I see Fuji beating him.
Yeah. Even though like I sleep on Fuji, I agree as well.
Yeah, it's kind of hard because I feel like Odin's better at sword fighting than Fuji is, but I feel like Fuji's gravity
That
would be
double
enough to
move.
give him the edge.
He does vision hockey too, that you can't get anything past him. His
Hmm.
reaction speed is pretty good too. Fuji's nasty, man. He's very slept on in
He is. We
community,
just need to
but
see the upper extents of his gravity power, and then people will stop sleeping on him. But yeah, I'll just end it here. I wonder how long
yeah.
this was, to be honest.
Alright,
Like,
peace out, guys. Is it done now or?
I'm about to end it. We could say like some final things. I was just gonna say, I wonder how long this was. Like, if this was an hour or two, that'd be pretty surprising to me. It doesn't feel like
I
we've
feel
been
like it
talking that
was.
long at all. But yeah, I'll just end it here. Duo Legend Mac. Peace.